working with animals is they give 190 back for the 10% of time or energy that any of us might have to give to them.
I mean, deep down, I think that most people love animals, and no one wants to be involved in animal cruelty and animal suffering.
And until we respect the animals, how can we respect one another?
No, it's an issue that's obviously like any good cause. It's just worth bringing the public's awareness to it.
I think if the celebrities knew the integral workings of certain organizations, they would not support them. I think most people wouldn't, especially with companion animals. I know that food animals are a whole different story, and that's a whole very sad, important story. But with companion animals, the American public does not want to see them die. They want them to live.
I find that anybody that I've ever shared the information of the realities of the fur industry always choose to go another route.
Her family is Kaplan Furs, like multi-million-dollar industry which she denounced and they disowned her.
Yeah.
Kaplan Furs.
I come from furriers.
She comes from Furrier.
I know, I don't talk about it, Kaplan.
And fortunately, we've discovered that it skips generations, I guess.
PETA, I think they do have a lot of good initiatives, but presenting something like this to a little child with a picture of what looks like a skinned fox, and this is a graphic picture that has made me blanch.
Your mommy kills animals? This is a PETA comic. They actually put this in the hands of children as young as 6 years old. You know, adults understand that this is humorous, it's supposed to be humorous. I'm reading from the back of this. There are terrible people who cause our furry friends to die every day, and guess what? One of those terrible people is your mommy. Your mommy kills animals. I bet you didn't know that. Are you kidding me?
Cute animal, formerly cute animal.
There will never, ever be a zero demand for fur. People will always want to wear fur. I mean, it's a huge billion-dollar industry.
Yeah, it looks very nice.
I moved to New York about 2 months ago, and I've never been in such a cold place in my life. I'm from Australia. I'm used to really warm temperatures. So I did bring a vintage fur, a rabbit fur jacket with me. And just talking to people around the city, a lot of them have said that they're actually quite terrified about saying that items that they are wearing are in fact real fur. And lots of them have said, I'll lie about it if anyone questions me about it.
Excuse me, is that fur you're wearing?
Yes. Yes. No. Yes. Am I supposed to say yes?
There was a man in my lobby this morning who was waiting to catch the bus with me. And I said to him, oh, what's your hat made from? And he took a look at me. This man's 6'6", but he looked at me like he was quite concerned. And he said, it's rabbit. So we had a chat about it. I mentioned I'd written the piece, and he said, I was really thinking of telling you that it was fake fur because you never know who could be a bit of a crazy.
That is fucking disgusting. Did you kill it yourself? How do you feel about that? You skin it alive? I bet you have a nice cat at home too. Did you skin that? You fucking pervert.
And I just decided a while ago that why should I have to lie about it? Why should anyone have to lie about it? The reaction was quite overwhelming. I did expect that I would get a lot of feedback, and I did expect that a lot of it would be negative. And I did meet with PETA. I did get a call from the organisation, and I did agree to meet one of their representatives. I wanted to give them the opportunity to say whatever they wanted to say. They showed me a video, and it wasn't pleasant to watch. And I cannot say that I was unmoved by it, because I was. But I also can't say that I went home and threw my items of fur from my wardrobe into the trash.
Mink farming is generally, I mean, our livelihood are these animals. So it really comes down to they're going to get food, they're going to get water, all the care, the best care that they're going to get is because it's our livelihood. We need these mink to be happy and healthy because otherwise we're not going to stay in business.
If this were a simple matter of a disagreement, if this were just simply an ideological conflict, then whatever, I'm willing to talk with anyone, I'm willing to debate with anyone. But when the physical reality of animal confinement comes into the picture, even if the welfare of these animals is, you know, relatively taken care of.
The mink is a very voracious carnivore, and when you release a couple of hundred of those things into a habitat, they very rapidly will clean out everything that is there for them to eat. And most of them will starve because they don't have enough fuel to get to where they can find adequate food and habitat.
My farm experienced a release, and it did horrendous damage to the ecosystem around the farm. We lost several thousands of dollars worth of exotic birds and pets when the mink were released. And most of the mink that did not return to the farm were just hit on the highway.
There's a lot of media hype when some of this stuff happens. When, let's say, a mink farmer fights back and calls the media, saying, you know, last night, you know, 2,000 of my mink were released, and starts giving some kind of BS about, oh, they were all run over by cars, or they can't survive in the wild. You know, that those comments are heard frequently, and the media likes to latch onto those comments. But what people need to understand is that something that's created by the opposition to put down the liberation.
The family has been affected. We had people taking pictures of our home and stuff when we're there. We've had people up taking pictures at my child's school. And I guess we've made it to the internet on a death list, including my 10-year-old.
The FBI said, well, don't let your kids open your mail. You know, there's razor blades floating out there, and so we still don't let our kids open their mail. And, you know, we screen our mail.
At the end of the day, I mean, obviously I don't really want to cause harm to anyone. I don't relish the idea of taking away somebody's livelihood. I don't enjoy the thought that these people are going to have to, you know, suffer financially. But it becomes necessary. And I don't really know what to say. I'm not particularly apologetic about that.
This has been, by and large, the most non-violent political social justice movement ever.
Well, non-violent is a very gray term. No, nobody's walked up and shot me with a shotgun. However, they took $500,000 out of my family's mouth.
What I can say, though, for my part, is that these are animals who are slated to die regardless. The profit from their death is going to ensure that another generation fills those cages the next year. And so if an animal is released from a cage and they have a fighting chance at life, and somewhere along the way they get hit by a car, of course it's tragic. I mourn when any animal dies, but at least now there's no profit to be made from their death.
We've survived because people do want mink. It's a good industry, and we're not going to be scared and go away.
I just think it's selfish and lazy. I don't want to learn something new. You know, never mind that not only does my factory farm confine and cause misery for all these different lives.
You know, we're not trying to defend our industry because it doesn't really need defending.
You can't scare somebody to quit doing something. It doesn't work. I'm not going to keep my children home from school. I'm not going to sit in my house and behind an electric fence.
But they don't want to change. They're lazy. It pisses me off.
I would argue that it's not laziness.
We're in it for the long haul. We're not going away. I'm sure the animal rights movement isn't going away.
Rights movements never go away. They always get stronger. They always attract more people. And there is no point whatsoever in wasting your time fighting them, because we will grow and we will win. And